Good morning. It is bright and early and we are out here in the garden in the flower field and we are going to do some cleanup. We've got some beds that need to be flipped. Our straw flower is done for the year, so we're going to pull it all out. It kind of flooded. Last year it lasted me a lot longer, but I think because of it got too wet this year. So we're going to pull everything out of the bed and just start over fresh with some new plantings. I've got some glads that I need to get in the ground, so those could be planted. I've got some lilies that are on the way. I usually like to plant those things in my raised beds, but my raised beds right now are in full growth mode, and this bed is going to be basically empty. So let's look at what we've got going on. What kind of fruit are you picking?
Golden raspberry.
And what else?
Plums.
And plums. Golden raspberries and plums, huh?
Uh-huh.
Super yummy. All right, let me show you what we've got going on. So the flower field is looking better than it has. Well, I shouldn't say that. Parts of it look better. We have sunflowers that are growing. The dill is super weedy. I need to get in there and weed that before it all goes to flower. That bed needs to be completely cleaned out. This bed right here is our problem child today. I try to just focus on one bed at a time. Otherwise I get overwhelmed and get distracted and don't do what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'll probably leave the scabiosa in. Look at this. So the willows are kind of going crazy. It's super wet right here. I don't know if I have a leak. This is still super wet. I don't know if I have a leak underground or what. So we have to figure that out. Tons of weeds in this bed. Tons of Bermuda grass. Straw flowers that are about done. Pulling those out. We're going to pull those out. This scabiosa, I'll probably leave it. I love this dark color. It's so pretty. And in our bouquets, it just gives it such a cool, dramatic effect. So we'll probably weed around them. Verbena bonariensis that has taken over my life. It is everywhere. And then this is the straw flower that all just died. Like I said, last year we had straw flower all summer. This year, not so much. And it's just a mess. So, and then here, it's just a super swampy mess. So here I'm going to lay down cardboard. This whole bed, I'm going to lay down cardboard, lay down new compost. I don't know what to do about this bed. I think the dianthus is going to come back. I think it will be a perennial for us, so I kind of want to leave it and see what happens. And I don't really need the bed space right now. So I think I'm just going to leave it. But I'll weed this bed too, hopefully, if I get to it. I don't know. I only have an hour this morning. My son's going to a camp for church. So I have to leave in 1 hour to take him to that in Santa Rosa, which I'm actually super excited about. I'm going to stop in Petaluma at the Cottage Gardens of Petaluma on my way home and go visit that nursery, which I'm really excited about. I might even try to go to Baker Seed Co. To the seed library that's there too. I don't know, we'll see. My mom's going with me. I'll see what I can get her talked into. Joey, do you see the robin right there? Do you see that robin?
No.
On the post above the hose. See it?
Oh yeah.
It's giving itself a little bath.
Bath.
It's giving itself a little bath in the morning, like we all do. Take a little shower to start the day.
Yeah, what's he doing on there because there's no dirt?
No, there's no dirt. He's not taking a dirt bath. He's just stretching his wings and cleaning himself up. What we need to do is clean up all these willow trees so we can walk past here. Probably need to get bigger cutters for it, but for now we're just going to do
Are
this.
those cutters?
What?
Are those cutters?
Yeah, cutters. This is a project I need. A project I need Ed to do. We need to move this out of the bed, out of the aisleway. So willows are super easy to grow, and I planted these a year and a half ago from one little stick. It's not even any roots. You just stick the stick in the ground, and the roots and the trees grow. And these have been cut back. Last year I cut them back to like basically nothing. And as you can see, this is a super wet area of my garden, so the willows love it. So they get out of control. I actually haven't figured out what to do with the willows yet. So right now we just cut them back. I did use the branches in the fall. I got the catkins off of them and used them for decoration. Hey, Joan.
Huh.
You're right in front of the screen.
Mom, I feel a bone.
You what?
No bone.
Let's see, this is a willow that was laying on the ground and it started to grow its own root system. So that could be a whole new tree that gets planted. Oh, you need it. Good job. No, don't put them anywhere else but in that bed. I don't want them growing anywhere else. Just put them back in that bed where they were growing.
Okay. In the same bed?
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm a little bit overwhelmed by this because it is so messy and so overgrown with weeds. But I think what I'm going to do actually first is pull up the drip irrigation because that will help pull up some of the weeds anyway. And then I can use my rake and pull up weeds that way. And then I think I'm actually going to put down cardboard over the entire bed, which means I won't have to weed as much. A friend of mine just built a new outdoor kitchen, so she has tons of cardboard, big pieces. So I think I'm going to go get her big pieces and put them here so that it will suppress the weeds again. And then we'll lay down fresh compost on top of her cardboard. After my initial, when I'm building beds, I lay down cardboard with the compost, and then usually after that I don't put compost back on the beds again, and I just put it back in the aisleways. But I think I'm going to put it back on the bed so that on this bed, just because the weeds and the Bermuda grass is so bad. The weeds this year have been awful. The Bermuda grass has been out of control. So, all right, let's pull up the irrigation. Trying to figure out the most efficient way to do this, and I can't decide if I should, not just the most efficient, because most efficient would be to just smother it, but I can't decide if I should actually smother it or if I do need to pull the weeds first, because there's some pretty aggressive weeds in here. So I think I'm gonna pull the big ones and then smother all the little stuff. I don't know. Smothering works pretty good, especially in the summer when it's hot and there's no groundwater. In the winter, it's a little less effective, I've noticed, because of the rainwater and the groundwater. The weeds, even though they're not getting light, they seem to still get water. So as soon as you give them light, they come back. Which means when the cardboard melts away. So part of the type of farming that we do too, the regenerative farming, some of the theory is that whatever weeds are growing, that's the nutrients that the soil needs, because the soil's trying to heal itself. I don't know if that's true with Bermuda grass, because Bermuda grass is just the worst. and it just seems to grow everywhere no matter what. But so I'm kind of thinking, what if I lay the seeds or the weeds that haven't gone to seed? I just lay them in the beds and then put the cardboard on top. Will that feed the soil enough so that those weeds don't come back next year? I don't know. We have this super aggressive stuff here. I don't know if you can see it on camera. I don't know what it is. It's like some sort of a grass that gets these like seed heads on it. It's super, you can't just pull it, you have to dig it out. This stuff. I don't know what it is, but it's awful. So, I think we are going to go for the chop and drop. We're just going to dig it out and then leave the weeds here and put the cardboard on top of them, which also will help our water drainage issue. Some of them have gone to seed, so I won't be planting the weeds again, but the ones that don't have seed, I think I'll let them go. This is another weed that has been a problem for us this year. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It almost looks like a heather or something, but it is everywhere. It's like taken over our yard. It's just interesting to me how some years, some things are, a certain weed will take over and that will be your problem for the year. Like last year it was stinging nettle, which is horrible weed. And it was a problem and it was everywhere. And I pulled most of it out, so I'm sure that's part of the reason it wasn't a problem as much this year. But it just really wasn't. We had a few plants, but not a ton. But then this sedge grass, I think that's what this is called, is a sedge grass. Nut sedge, that's what it is. You have to get the whole nut, or else it just keeps growing. But this year the stinging nettle was not really a big problem. I didn't have a ton of it. So it's just interesting that every year, depending on the climate, your conditions, whatever, certain things are just bigger problems. I think I've decided I'm pulling out the big stuff, the great big weeds. I'll pull those out. The little weeds, I'm not going to worry about them. I'm going to lay down cardboard on top of them. I'm going to lay cardboard down in the aisles. And then, overall, say too big for me. I'm going to lay the cardboard down in the aisles also, and then just put the new compost and I don't put compost in the aisles. I just put the, what's it called? The wood chips in the aisles. And we just got 2 new huge loads of wood chips. So I'm just going to put those in the aisles and call it good. See if that will smother the weeds out. Feed the soil so those weeds don't need to grow here anymore. Hopefully, that's the theory. Cut these straw flowers and save them for drying. The pretty ones. Super pretty snapdragon that came back from last year. but it's just one. You don't need just one. I have a hard time throwing away plants, pulling out perfectly good plants. So they kind of randomly come back, which I like actually. Ones that self-seed and come back on their own seem to be way healthier than the ones that I seed and force to grow in a certain location. So my garden is not perfectly straight rows of all the exact same plants, because sometimes, like the scabiosa, that dark scabiosa, I leave it there and let it grow because it's happy there. And it came back from seed from last year. These gladiolas right here, if you can see them. Right here I've got 2 glads that are growing. They have been here. Those plants were not here last year, but their bulbs must have been in the ground from 2 years ago. So I'm just going to leave them because I'm actually planting glads in this same bed. So I'll just lay down the cardboard around them. And right here I feel like I have weed cloth. Interesting. Before I knew better, I used plastic weed cloth. And now I'm getting rid of all of it. And I feel like I just found some that got left. And it's not helping the weeds, which is why we're getting rid of it. Not only is it plastic, it's not great for the soil, but it doesn't do its job anyway. The weeds just come through it, climb over it. In the back, we put it down commercial grade weed cloth underneath our rock, thinking that would help the rock not get weeds. And it's just grown, the Bermuda grass especially, has just grown through it, and it makes it virtually impossible to get the weeds out because it's going through the weed cloth, so you can't just pull them. So I think this fall that will be a project after we're done hosting events and doing all the farm activities for the year. Yeah, this is all weed cloth. I think we're going to pull up the rock and, I don't know, do something else. I would like to do DG pathways. We'll see. Yeah, look at this weed cloth. That's a project we're gonna have to tackle. I don't know if I have time to tackle that weed cloth right now today. Right, let's see. All this dirt on top of it. I wonder if I can cut it. Just with cutters. Just these lips. Oh, it might be cut. Oh, it might just be in the aisleway, which is okay. Even though it's just in the aisleway, I think we're still going to pull it out because it's not doing its job, because it's a problem. Oh, that wasn't so bad. Thought that would be a much bigger deal than that. Now we have a big hole here. We need to fill that. One of the problems with Bermuda grass, and one of the reasons we don't till, is that when you tear it up, it creates all new like root breakages where it will grow from. And so it's one of the reasons that we quit tilling, because we were just tilling Bermuda grass. We're just like seeding Bermuda grass. It helps way more to smother it, but I'm gonna try to get most of it out, what I can, and then smother it. Hopefully that will help. I have found more weed cloth. Yep. Okay, this is way bigger than I have time for today. I'm not going to get through this. We're gonna leave this one. Okay, it's 90% done. And as I like to say, I'm the queen of good enough. So, we are going to go get cardboard, lay on top. Before I do anything right here, I'll show you. I'm gonna have Ed move this pipe out of this walkway. So we're not gonna do that part of this all the way. We're gonna leave that part open because he will need to dig it. Let's go get cardboard. Good morning. It is the next morning. I did not have time to get the cardboard done on the beds yesterday, so we are going to do it today. I had to run and take kids everywhere. And I am looking at my eyes. My allergies are really bad. We were in Petaluma yesterday, and it was really windy, and so my eyes are super swollen this morning. So we're going to get the cardboard, and we're going to take the cardboard over to the flower field. So excuse the mess. This is our cardboard dump everything side of the house. So these pieces of cardboard are huge, which is good, but I think they might be too big. I don't know. We're going to lay them out and see, because you don't want to be, I don't want the cardboard to be too thick under the beds that I'm going to be planting actual flowers in this year. So I'll probably get some of these smaller pieces as well. So I'll get it on the trailer and we'll get going. Okay, we are in the garden. I've got my side-by-side full of cardboard, and we are going to be laying it down in the beds now. Ed dug up my pipe for me yesterday, so it's kind of a big mess out here. But the interesting thing is, because he turned off the water, now we know that it's the water that was leaking, and it's not just groundwater. So we've got, he dug up the hole to move the pipe that was coming up here. He's turned off the main line and now everything is dried out. So the fact that it has dried out means that we have leaks happening, which is the worst. Irrigation is like the bane of my existence. So you can see this is still super weedy, but I'm gonna just take all the cardboard that's in the side-by-side and lay it down on these beds to get it smothered out. We're gonna do it all the way through the aisle, the walkways, and then also the main row. And then we're going to pile like 6 inches of compost on top of it, so that we'll just plant right into that compost on top of the cardboard. I have found that by the time the roots get long enough to get to the cardboard, the cardboard has disintegrated, so it's not a problem to plant on top of the cardboard with the compost. You know, obviously you can't do it if you don't have the compost. You can see piles of it all right over there, of the wood chips. So here we go. Alright, we're going to start at this end so that we can work our way back to the hole that needs to be dug. So we're just going to start pulling it out. Cardboard's funny because you think you have enough and then you think it's huge pieces and then you lay it out and you're like, oh, that's not enough and the pieces aren't that big. So you can tell already they're not going to be enough. I thought this would be too much. But when it's in your house, it looks big, or your car. And then you bring it out to the garden, you're like, oh yeah, not enough. These cardboard pieces are nice because they are basically the right width for the bed and the aisle. So it's nice to not have to overlap. To piecework cardboard together makes a big difference. It doesn't leave. When you're piecing it together, it leaves holes in the cardboard that the grass can get through, especially the Bermuda grass. So you don't have to piece it together. That's great. By the way, I am going to wash my pants today. My overalls. They are bad today. Alright. So because I want to keep these scabiosa that are right here, I'm going to get some small boxes and I will piece around that. And then at the end of the row this way, I need to let Ed finish the irrigation situation. So we'll piece these small pieces and then we'll need to let him finish that before we finish that side. Okay, this is one of those projects that's going to take way longer than it should because of my schedule. So I need to go get some more cardboard. I thought I had little pieces in the side-by-side. I only have little tiny boxes, not like medium-sized boxes. So I gotta go find those, which I have them. I just need to collect them out in my cardboard bin. But right now I have to go do some meetings for my other job. I'll go pick up some cardboard this afternoon and then I will come back and finish this. This is like never-ending 3-day project that should be only a half a day if I didn't do anything else and I just did this full time, which like and subscribe, and then I could do this full time if I got paid for this, then I could get it done. All right, bye. Okay, we are on day 3 of getting this one-day project done that's taken me way too long. But as you can see, we have our compost, and now that the cardboard is laid out, we are going to lay down the compost in the row to then put the drip lines back and get it ready to be planted. So